Out the Box TV, your man Roger holding it down for another installment of Out the Vault. And today I'm talking with one of my faves, Mr. Eric Roberson, doing his thing out here, killing the R&B game. And you've been an independent artist for over 20 years, man. Does this independent grind get easier or harder as time goes by?
That's a great question. I would probably say to some degree it gets easier because some of it has worked. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I'm able to
Right.
take care of my family and kids. In the beginning, it was like, is this going to work? But we were having a lot of fun. We were making mistakes, but, having a lot of fun doing it. You know what I mean? And it was exciting. It's a lot harder, respectfully, to get someone excited when I've been writing songs for them for over 20 plus years, right?
Right.
So I'm excited. Like, man, I got this new song. They're like, yeah, well, I'm still loving the song you wrote 20 years ago. There was something special about getting on stage and no one knew who you were and you had to win them over. There was something
Mhm.
special about that.
Now listen, I feel that, and you're like 18 albums deep in the game, and you have this new project, beautifully all over the place. And I do want to know, how does it feel to be like right here, this particular place in your journey?
It feels very transparent at this point in the journey. I realize now that, my steps, whether intentional or not intentional, are artistic. They are purposeful. They're profitable, whether financially or just spiritually or just something. Something good will come out of it. Even if I don't, sometimes I won't see it. For me now, hey man, I'm more willing now to show everything more than ever because I realize that everything, my flaws, my best day, my worst day, it all is art. It all is seen. It's all profitable, and not profitable like reality TV profitable, but profitable that something good is going to come out of it. Somebody's going to say, "Oh, wow, I felt like that before," or "I'm not alone," or "Oh man, it made me look at my wife differently this time."
Right.
Whatever it did. Or I poured some wine and got in the bathtub and just chill. Whatever. So for me, I'm very more. I think transparent is the best word right now.
Transparent and intentional. And this project was actually an exclusive release on your website, which is like a different move for most. What made you want to move in this direction with this particular album?
I think we're in the attention business first and foremost, and the album will be on streaming platforms at some point. But I think the goal is for people to receive the album the way we made it, really
Mhm.
give attention to each particular thing. If I give everybody all 10 songs right now, it'll be digested and removed faster
Mhm.
than I would like. So for me, I'm like,
Mhm.
hey, I want you to pay attention to each thing we do here. I think I believe in it. I believe in the quality of it. And at the same time, if you want the whole project, come over here. Come over here and see what we're doing. And we're giving you way more than we usually would give. But with streaming, you don't know who played bass,
Right.
who produced it, you don't know this. And we're trying to just give a different experience as a whole album. But at the same time, just if I keep it really 100, if I release the album right now, let's say we in September, right?
Mhm.
By November, everybody be like, that was dope. What else you got? And really, I'm like, man, I spent 2 hours making that. I mean, 2 years making that album. What you mean we're done in 2 months? I gotta give you something else. For my goal is hopefully by March, by May, we're still talking about the album. It's still
Mhm.
growing. Oh man, I was really loving that song, but man, that song's really speaking to me now. How we used to be when we
Yeah.
put a needle to the vinyl and really pay attention, or put those headphones on our iPod or whatever and really digest what's going on. Just trying, because
Mhm.
I'm just trying to slow it down a little bit because we are really digesting things a lot faster, me included.
And listen, I had no idea they were calling you the co-captain of the neo soul movement, man. You've been doing all kind of collaborations. You actually have a whole arsenal of collaborations. You got your man BJ the Chicago Kid on your single "Where You Gonna Go." Now, how did you realize, or how did you figure out he was like the perfect formula for that particular song?
Because he chose it. Really, to be honest with you, me and BJ were talking. We met on the road, kept in touch. He became a new father. I'm a father. We were having a bond just in talking with that. And with that, we were like, hey man, at some point let's talk music. If there's ever something that you need vocally, I need whatever. And I was really in a creative zone. I was writing a lot of songs, and I sent him a couple of songs, and one of them was a song I wrote about being a father. But for me, he a church kid. You know what I mean?
Right.
You listen, dirt road stomp church kid. Like that's where I grew up. You know what I mean? So I know he can get down with everybody. Where You Want to Go has that 3/4 undertone, that raw soul. So I did hear him on that, but I sent him a couple of different things. And when we were talking about the fatherhood one, I was like, "Hey man, so if you hear something on the he said, "Oh no, man, I cut the Where You Want to Go joint already." I was like, "Oh, you did?" you know.
Right.
And it was a match made in heaven, man, and it just sounded perfect. I don't really this album I probably was a little more intentional than usual.
Hmm.
But for me, man, it's usually whoever I'm talking to that week, whoever shows up in the studio that week, whoever I'm with that day, who I'm conversing with when we write the song. That's usually who. I mean, really, from Jill to Music Soul Child, or Marsha Ambrosius, or man, anybody, Layla Hathaway. It's really just been who I was talking with that week. You know,
Hmm.
I wrote Dealing, I think the day before I saw her, you know.
Okay.
But respectfully, not, and no shout to Layla. I love Layla. I'm here whenever you want to do another one. But if I ran into Lettucey the next day, it probably would have been Lettucey. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I consider all of them my sisters. I consider all of my friends. So DJ, just thank God that we were talking at the time and sharing a lot. And that was a song that I happened to find in the studio, was working on, and was sending him, and that was the one he picked.
Now, your three lead singles were all different, not even the same vibe, and you're playing with a lot of different elements on this album. Now, tell me, how did it feel to kind of branch out and work with these different elements?
But that means a lot to me that you noticed that, because I mean the album is called Beautifully All Over the Place, and the songs are not supposed to sound like themselves. And I think that was, you know, why the album is called that, because one day I was on a rock vibe. The next day I was on a hip hop vibe. Next day I was on a soul vibe, and I think that's really been a lot of the discovery. The amazing thing, you see this pole right here, this ridge right here, that was a
Yes.
wall. And just last year, I had the wall taken down. That was a vocal booth back there, just so I could add more equipment, because I just got
Mm.
back into playing instruments, and I just needed more space to explore. And you know, these pop songs that are coming out, these rock songs, whatever. If I worked on a house song, if something had an Afro beat under it, I just had a lot of fun. Just what I did Tuesday, I didn't want to do Wednesday. So I'm in Johannesburg on Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? I'm in Chicago on Wednesday. I'm in North Carolina on Sunday. You know what I mean? So, and that's
Hmm.
really what I really believe, that making music and listening to music is kind of like reading a book. When I'm reading a book, I go to where that book is talking about. If the book is a story about Paris or Louisiana, I'm in Louisiana. So
Hmm.
for me in the studio, the same thing. It's like, am I trying to go to Louisiana? All right, how can I get to Louisiana? And sometimes I need to call in much more efficient musicians and producers to do that. But that was kind of how we did this album. We just tried. How can we travel the world without going nowhere?
And you're always in your element while you're on the road too. So you've been doing this thing for a while, and I know you always aim to keep it fresh. So what's your approach when you're like putting together a set list for an album and putting together like a set list for tour? How do they differ?
So the wrestling match is always, what songs are we doing, right? And when you think of, we've been on stage for the last 25 plus years. There's staples that you got to sing. They're not going to let you out the room without singing them. And then you're going to have a small group of people who might go crazy if I sing this one song, but the rest of the world is going to be like, huh? You always got to be willing to teach. We're presenting a new album. The people don't know those records, but you have to. The only way they're going to know it is if you got to show them that you believe in it, right? But for me, the main thing to answer your question is just listening. A show is nothing but a conversation. And for me, I'm feeding off the energy of the room. and their energy will change how a song is played and how a song is performed. Um, and I love that. And for if anyone been on my show, we make songs up as well, and we will always, at any point, let a couple come in with a lime green outfit, matching lime green outfits on, and come walking up middle. Let them walk in and don't think I'm gonna stop middle show and go, I'm looking at the keyboard player. He gonna know yes. And we're gonna do a song called Lime Green, or I'm gonna match you step for step, or whatever it's gonna be. Let the waiter fall and all the drinks fall. And we're gonna write a song called Splash right there. So it's like it's just keeping it really open, whether it's serious, whether it's funny. I think the goal is I really practice this theory, process over product. So for me, a show is not a part of the shows. It's the first time. It's the first show. So each song,
Mm-hmm.
how do you sing it as if it's the first time you sang it? I'm never tired of singing a song because I don't even allow myself to think like, well, here's my 32nd, 100th time singing. It's like, no.
Right.
First of all, I remember when no one's paying attention to me. So, man, you really want to hear this song? Well, man, God has a fun. If we got to sing it for the rest of my life, then fine. I'm going to sing it like it's the first time I sang it. I'm going to try to, transparency, I can't look at my wife during the show. She can't sit in front of me. She has to be to the side because I will bust out crying in one of the songs because when I wrote Picture Perfect, she was pregnant. I wrote it for her during our first the pregnancy of our first child. So when I'm singing that song and I look at her, I go back to that moment and I'm gonna forget I'm at what venue I'm at. I can't see her. You know what I mean? If I'm singing she's my favorite subject. There's a lot of songs that of course been written about her. So uh I will live in the moment,
Mm-hmm.
of whatever that moment is. So I try to make sure that people can see that, people can feel that wow, he's enjoying it, he believes in it, he's captured by it, in hopes that they can be captured by it too.
Well, listen, my man Eric Roberson, I always enjoy talking with you. I appreciate you taking the time out to holler at Out the Box today. You guys go out and get that album, check it out. Beautifully all over the place. And of course, run that archive up as well. Now, if you've missed any episode of Out the Box, you know what to do. You can check those out. Also, outtheboxtv.com. And of course, keep it locked because we got a new episode just around the corner. Let's go.